I love it. Guys, welcome. I couldn't be more excited to be here. We're in Geneva. We're here at Vacheron Constantin before Watches and Wonders 2024 with my dear friend Christian Salmoni.
Hi, Justin. How are you today?
Good to see you again.
Good to see
it's
you,
becoming an annual tradition that we get together and have a chat.
Yeah. Such a good one.
To be honest, we've got an incredible, and I don't say this lightly, we've got an incredible selection of watches here that are all new for 2024, but not all of them. There are still some that people are going to have to wait to see for Watches and Wonders to come about. Here we are. Christian, just give us a sense of the overall take here. Let's go straight into the watches.
Yeah.
What have we got here in your mind for this year?
So let's start with the 20th anniversary of Patrimony. Mm-hmm. So we launched the Patrimony model, the 40mm manual winding one in the year 2004. Mm-hmm. And so this year we are celebrating the 20th anniversary with 3 novelties.
Okay.
To start with, let's say, time-only models. Mm-hmm. So both are new models.
Yes.
And the question, what is new? So the first thing is that this is a new diameter. So we have reduced the size from 40mm down to 39mm.
Yeah.
Because, Justin, as we know, so watches these days tend to become, slightly less, I would say, we are coming back maybe to sizes around 39, 38.
That must be amazing. It must be amazing for you. 36, I know. Yeah. Guys, I'm wearing this ultra-thin platine. In part of the historic collection, 36 millimeters, ultra thin, and I believe was the thinnest in the world when it came out around 2015, or the rose gold that came first.
To speak about this timepiece, so this historic was a tribute to the timepiece we launched in 1955 for the 200th anniversary of Vacheron Constantin, and it was the thinnest watch available on the market at this time.
Mm-hmm. Incredible, and I guess in many ways this shift that we're seeing in the collector market resonates with you personally because you're a vintage watch fan as well, right? So,
well, I do love modern watches
as well. No, it's nice to have the balance, but you do have a particular passion for. And I have to say, when you hold this new Patrimony in the hand, so 39 millimeters, to start with, it's a striking adjustment in size. Even though it's only 1 millimeter, it makes a huge difference.
You're right.
In the aesthetic and balance on the dial, and immediately this new dial, this old silver dial, has this and sunburst finish, but vintage feel.
Yes,
for sure.
So you're right. So the idea was, as the Patrimony model is rooted in the 50s, we wanted to play a bit, to give a kind of vintage hint to this timepiece. So that's why we selected this Kalla, which is old silver, and which very much resonates with the vintage watches from the 50s actually. And there is another novelty about the dial's finishing. So on the contrary of the Patrimony models, which have a kind of silver porcelain finish, here we have a beautiful sunburst on the back, which gives a lot of life. Mm-hmm. And of course, you have noticed the beautiful gold pearls, making a minute track. I would say another wink to the 50s as well.
Interesting enough, you've opted, despite the fact this is a hand-worn caliber, with Geneva seal. So finishing at the same level as everyone would expect from Vacheron, but you've decided to have a closed case back. It comes in 2 models. We've got a rose gold and a white gold. Why the closed case back?
Actually, we had already the closed case back on the Patrimony 40mm diameter model, and for our clients, this is the possibility to make an engraving on the back, a message or anything you want, and this is something which is appreciated by our clients. So that's why we decided to keep it for the 39mm model. Mm-hmm. And you spoke about, Justin, about the movement. Well, I have to comment that this is a brand new movement. It's caliber 1440, which is not an evolution of the previous one, 1400. However, a totally new design, which is, I would say, which has been in a way improved or modernized as we launched the caliber 1400 in the year 2001.
42-hour power reserve?
42 hours of power reserve, 1 single barrel, yes.
And I've got to say, the one thing I love about my hand-wound caliber here is just that there's something so satisfying about the build quality and the winding sensation.
Very much.
It's unbelievable. It really is wonderful. The first thing I noticed, funny enough, was the straps, actually. And it's something that we've discussed a lot in the past.
Yes.
It's a big conversation in the collector world.
Yes, very much. It's
nice to see Vacheron adopting and embracing the idea that actually new watches can be playful when it comes to straps as well.
Very much. For such classic watches, yes, I think something which is really interesting. Well, I would say if we consider the white gold model, so you have seen as well that we have a two-tone dial, which is another, something which is different. Personally speaking, I do love really this two-tone dial, which gives a lot of sophistication, I would say. And I love the combination of the white gold, two-tone dial, and this beautiful olive green strap.
I agree. That's my pick. That is my pick. Do you think two-tone's coming back for 2024? Is two-tone the theme?
It's hard to
Did it ever go?
But I think it's it's working super well with the Patrimony, so it's something which is highly interesting. Yeah.
Two-tone's interesting because for me, on a bracelet watch, it can be quite a particular look. If you have a two-tone bracelet or two-tone case, when it comes in a dress watch format, it's a very different proposition. Yes. It's very elegant, as you say. It is very different.
Sure. I think also it was a good idea to do it because, as you know, we have very thin indexes and very thin hand, so it's quite discreet. It doesn't shout loud.
The one thing that you will notice out there, guys, when you get a chance to see these watches in the metal, which I highly suggest you do, because they come to life, the way that dial is, the Patrimony's always had a curvature to it.
Very mad.
But it's even, I would say it's exaggerated in some respects with this new old silver dial and sunburst.
Because of the sunburst.
Yeah. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So two variations, 39mm, and then we have to also discuss, because in many ways, Vacheron has sort of taken ownership of the retrograde display.
Yes.
And so we see a continuation of that here in this model.
Yeah, very much. So you remember last year, Justin, at Watches and Wonders, we came with, it was a kind of retrograde year. In a sense, we came with 3 novelties in 3 different collections. So as we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Patrimony, for us, it made sense also to recreate a new version of the Patrimony retrograde date and moon phases. Again, in white gold with two-tone dial, old silver finish on sunburst background, and sharing the same olive green strap. One thing maybe I could add is that we have kept the diameter of 42.5 millimeter because mostly, as we have a 31 days retrograde calendar, we wanted to maintain this exceptional readability thanks to the larger diameter.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? With some vintage watches, readability was not the most important priority. Yes. Some watches are difficult to read.
No, but
this one's not.
This one, I think it's super readable.
Yeah. Really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Open case back, automatic caliber in there.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, that's Patrimony. So there we go. Let's move on to, and I think for me, the theme, by the way, this year, guys, is that Vacheron had come and shown competencies at every level across watchmaking and other things, which we'll come to in a moment. Time-only watches to then the more complicated, and it is instantly recognizable as a monopusher chronograph tourbillon for the hardcore, but also it's instantly recognizable as a platinum watch because it's got this grey dial. So what are we looking at here? Christian, give us an overview.
So, well, this is the Traditionnelle chronograph with tourbillon. However, maybe we could talk a bit about this capsule collection, which is a Collection Excellence Platinum in French and English, Platinum Excellence Collection. So this is a capsule collection that we have since the year 2006, in which we are incorporating always as limited editions very relevant watches from the technical angle, from the design angle, or from the historical angle, for example. And the idea is really to have as much as possible the platinum as a metal in the timepiece. That means not only the case is in platinum, but also the dial. And this is I would say for me, this is the most important part.
Yeah.
The dial is made of platinum, of pure platinum.
Incredibly hard to get right.
Yes. And this is very finely sandblasted.
Yes.
And there is no varnish, no treatment, anything on the surface, because as with no adjusting, platinum doesn't oxidize. Yeah. So it's a very special finish. Very, very delicate. And for the rest, we have obviously platinum push piece and crown, platinum folding buckle, and the last little detail. The stitches of the bracelet are a combination of silk and platinum.
Yes.
So it's very much... The result, I think, is a really a very monochromatic or stealth kind of appearance, very modern. Yep. Yet, even if the design of the Traditionnelle is, as the name suggests, quite traditional in the tradition of the Geneva watchmaking.
But for me, and I feel slightly embarrassed to say this with such an incredible piece of technological watchmaking, but the hands on this watch, The dagger hands, the Dauphin hands are incredible. Tell us a little bit about what the finish here is. And this is the first time we've seen this execution.
Yes. So in the Traditionnelle collection, we always have our Dauphin hands, which are a bit different than, if I may say, regular Dauphin in terms of shape, but mostly in terms of finishing. Mm-hmm. So we have one side of the hand, which is polished, mm-hmm. and the other side, which is satin finished. So that gives an incredible precision of readability. This is, of course, an in-house chronograph and tourbillon movement, mm-hmm. manual winding, and we also wanted to pay tribute to the great classic chronographs from the 40s or the 50s, for example, with this very spectacular construction. So the movement, if you look at the back, I think it's a superb execution. And we have added a large tourbillon carriage or regulator at 12 o'clock, which is quite unusual. But we wanted really to have a large tourbillon regulator opening. And you can see that we have the Maltese cross cage.
Yes.
And fantastic finishing as well.
Mm-hmm. And the power reserve is quite impressive, actually, for a watch.
65 hours.
For a big cage, to have to move that is quite impressive. The architecture is beautiful. The finishing, as you'd expect, is spectacular. And the balance on the dial, actually, is lovely. You've got the power reserve at 6. You've got the logo there at 9, and then you've got the chronograph register there at 3. We've seen this model before. Never in the platinum execution before. And I actually sat down, and I don't think you guys can see this behind us, but we've got the monopusher tourbillon reference on the front of that book there as well.
So as a matter of fact, we launched this caliber 3300 the year 2015 within the Harmony collection. Mm-hmm. And so we are using it right now in the Traditionnelle collection. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a wonderful addition to both the Collection Source Platine and the Traditionnelle collection.
Limited edition to how many?
50 pieces.
50 pieces?
50, yes.
Boutique only, I guess. By the way, the Harmony, for anyone out there that's like me looking around and digging into the history of the brand, the Harmony is one of the most beautiful collections that isn't maybe the one that's discussed most frequently amongst the collectors out there.
Yeah.
One to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, sure. The Harmony design is based on the cushion shape. We have been using the cushion shape quite a few during the 20s, or especially think about the American 1921, for example, or some chronographs, or even minute repeaters from the end of the 20s. So I think it's a super interesting shape, the cushion shape.
Really, really elegant.
And so, yes, it's true. The Harmony is a really interesting collection.
Let's move on, Christian, to our last two watches. For me, these weren't necessarily the ones that we were going to focus on, but when I saw them being presented today, I just couldn't resist because there's so many interesting elements to these watches. Tell us what we have here to start with, because this is a really special watch with a dial that I just couldn't get over.
So yes, Justin. So this is actually a concept watch that we have made, that we created together with one of our talents, Yi Qingying, and she's a fashion haute couture designer. She's a part of the Chambre Française de Haute Couture, and she has been working with us on this concept watch based on the Égérie collection. Mm-hmm. So there are many things to discuss about this timepiece. First of all, you see that the watch face is very pure. There are no more indexes or numerals, and we have a background of mother of pearl in lilac color. Mm-hmm. And what is really interesting as well, you have noticed as well the moon phase indicator, which is really very, very beautifully finished with mother of pearl in cloisonné, which is, I think, a fantastic detail. Mm-hmm. Yi Qing has been designing the whole bracelet, and she has been doing it as well. So it's a work. There is obviously a linen, like all the bracelets, but there is a great work of embroidery on the surface, using some parts of mother of pearl. And but what is really very surprising, that this is also an encounter not only between haute horlogerie and haute couture, but also with haute parfumerie. So Yi Qing has been working with Mr. Dominique Ropion, who is a famous French perfume maker. And inside the fabric, inside the embroidery, there are nano capsules of a perfume, which has been especially created for this unique timepiece by Dominique Ropion. And this capsule, if you twist the bracelet, they are breaking, and the scent will be released.
Have we got some in here? In this one? In this?
Of course.
It's funny, isn't it? Actually, I can't smell it. We've just smelt it before we came in.
So
first time I've ever seen any type of perfume integration into a watch.
As far as I don't know. And I think it's a very interesting collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
This is the very first time that we are doing such a collaboration with our talents.
Yes.
And I think it's it's showcasing Vacheron Constantin creativity, innovation, and also in a way thinking out of the box in the sense that we are watchmakers, but we wanted our watchmaking world or universe to connect with haute couture and haute parfumerie. So this is the idea behind this project.
I love it. And in many ways, this is not a watch for everybody. This is not an idea that will resonate with everybody, that's for sure. But when I saw it, I thought we had to celebrate the fact that this is challenging the assumptions, pushing things in a new direction. So we have to celebrate that. Yeah. Really lovely. The scent is wonderful. I'm not sure how I'd describe it, but it's absolutely wonderful. And then, Christian, probably another watch, just to finish, that I couldn't resist, but not one for me, not one for the everyday, that's for sure. But I could do. You can't not respect what's going on here, because this is just right on trend, I think it's fair to say, and also just incredible competencies and sophistication that maybe people aren't entirely familiar that Vacheron are able to sort of deliver.
Yes, very much so. Thank you so much, Justin. So this is really the comeback of Kalla. So Kalla is a trademark of Vacheron Constantin. We had a collection of high jewelry timepieces, which was named Kalla, and we decided to come back with the Kalla collection, or the Kalla models, this year with the Lady Kalla, with the new version of the Lady Kalla, which was the emblematic Kalla during the 80s and the 90s. So this is a watch which is fully set with the emerald cut diamonds. And what is really interesting is that this is a convertible timepiece, in the sense that you can remove actually.
I won't ask you to do it now.
You can remove the center of the timepiece.
Yes.
And you can adjust it as we did it here. We can adjust it on a necklace, very, 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 very simply. Exactly, if you do remember the pendant watches of the 20s in the same way. So you can wear it in several possibilities, 4 possibilities. You can wear actually the timepiece on the necklace.
Yep.
And or you can wear the watch on the diamond bracelet and put the diamond center on the sautoir. So there are many different ways to wear it. So this is quite extraordinary. And I would say the system to release the center of the watch is super reliable and very easy to interchange. Last thing I wanted to tell to you, so necklace is a combination of Akoya pearls and onyx beads. And this is it's pretty much influenced by Art Deco, I would say. Mm-hmm. And on total, we have 46.65 carats of diamonds.
So that is one of the reasons I'm not going to attempt to remove the head of the watch and put it into but it's unbelievable. And I don't know a huge amount about diamonds, but the setting involved here is just a piece of art. I mean, it really is.
So the setting was made in-house. And this is also, I would say, a kind of setting, or I would say the way the clothes are used. This, our master gem setter, has created or recreated a Maltese cross as in the close setting. So this is another signature that we are introducing for this year's Grand Lady Kalla.
It's incredibly beautiful. And I think just to finish, we should touch on the fact that in the early years of the wristwatch, it was sort of frowned upon for a woman to have access to the time herself. She would often ask her partner for the time. And Vacheron actually were one of the very first brands, one of the first makers to pioneer these hidden watches.
True, you're right.
And that's incredible. And so we're seeing a continuation of that today.
Yes. Yes, we did quite a lot of this very interesting so-called secret watches. Yeah. I would say even in the Kalla collection, during the 2000s, we made with several of them with secret opening. Yeah. So they are really nice. So really the ideal combination of high jewelry and high watchmaking.
Incredible. Christian, thank you as always. I will see you. I'll see you at Watches and Wonders.
Of course.
Ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining us as always. Let us know your thoughts below. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on these new watches for 2024. Stay tuned because, of course, we have got more to come in the year. So thanks as always.
Thank you, Justin.
Cheers, Christian.